Ever wonder what it takes to turn heartbreak into horsepower? At 16, I dove into the gritty world of my Uncle David's auto shop in Seattle, chasing dreams of custom cars. But when love, betrayal, and a $100 bill pushed me to rock bottom, could I rebuild my life and create an empire from the ashes? This is my story. Welcome to Addy Story, where we share real-life stories that touch the heart and inspire the soul. Subscribe now to join our community, relax, and dive into the stories we have for you. Enjoy. At 16, I stepped into my Uncle David's auto shop in Seattle, ready to dive into a world of grease and grit. He didn't want to hire me. He urged me to focus on school. But I was done with hand-me-downs and watching my mom wear herself thin. Cars have always captivated me. Hours vanished as I immersed myself in YouTube videos on engines and modifications, sketching fervently in my worn notebooks during class. Uncle David's shop was ordinary, yet it served a purpose, delivering solid work for good folks. That shop was everything to me. After school, I rushed there, sweeping floors, organizing tools, doing whatever it took. The seasoned mechanics took me under their wing, sensing my genuine curiosity. At 17, I changed oil blindfolded. At 18, I was already deep into engine rebuilds. This is the turning point. One day, a guy shows up in a battered Mustang GT, while others abandoned it, declaring it beyond repair. I recognized its hidden potential. For 2 relentless weeks, I pushed past my limits, diving into forums and experimenting with every possibility. At last, it's alive, better than ever. Word got around fast. If your performance car was in dire need of repair, Uncle David's was the go-to spot in Seattle, and I was the one to turn to. I finished high school with okay grades, all because Mom pushed me on homework, but college felt out of reach. I chose trade school and earned my certifications. That's where I found Emma. Looking back, the warning signs were there from the very start. She rolled in with her BMW, and my heart raced. Just a 328i, a gift from her father for her 21st birthday. Nothing more, nothing less. Of course, I understand. Yet she stood apart from the typical wealthy girls we encountered. She looked genuinely intrigued as I shared the issues with her car, unfazed by my grease-stained hands, and even chuckled at my silly car jokes. A few weeks later, we began our journey together. In hindsight, I realize I was her act of defiance against a suffocating family. Rich girls often choose bad boys just to defy their parents. I wasn't a bad boy, just a working-class guy with a knack for cars and dreams that soared high. The early years were truly remarkable. She'd surprise me with lunch at the shop, staying close as I poured my heart into my projects. I took on side jobs, hoarding every penny I could find. I envisioned a sanctuary, not merely a repair shop, but a luxurious custom garage where Ferraris and Lamborghinis come for expert care. Emma appeared to be my biggest cheerleader, constantly expressing her unwavering belief in me. But her family? What the hell? Picture every cliché of old money elitism, amplified to the extreme, and you're nearly there. Her dad, the big-time real estate mogul, would sneer at my car hobby with his patronizing questions during family dinners. Her mom never missed a chance to compare, always highlighting how her friend's son thrived in medical school, or how her cousin's husband just became a partner at his law firm. I stayed calm, eyes locked on my dreams. At 25, I was a force in the Seattle car scene. High-end clients began to find me through whispers of my work, and I caught the eye of a local car magazine for my custom restoration of a 1967 Shelby GT 500. Hope flickered anew. 4 years had passed with Emma by my side. We discussed forever, marriage, children, everything that binds us. I saved every penny for a ring. Simple, yet it held the weight of my hard work. I envisioned the perfect proposal, waiting for the loan to secure my dream shop. Then everything shattered. Each year, Emma's family held a lavish charity gala in Portland for a cause that tugged at their hearts. I'd typically dodge these events. There's nothing quite like the discomfort of being among trust fund kids who see changing their own oil as a bold adventure. This time, Emma was firm. It mattered to her family that I attend. The first red flag I overlooked entirely. I worked tirelessly that week to complete a client's Porsche GT3 ahead of schedule, desperate to make it in time. I bought a new suit. Simple, yet a significant upgrade from my typical J.C. Penney finds. 3 hours lost in the art of the Windsor knot. Each moment a battle of precision and purpose. In hindsight, I pushed too far, but I just wanted to see Emma smile. The gala unfolded in a lavish mansion in Salem, far from the city's pulse. Fountain in the driveway. Valet parking. An awkward moment as I recognized one of the valets from Uncle David's. Crystal chandeliers hung like stars, dazzling enough to blind a small army. From the moment I stepped inside, I felt like an outsider, yet I fought to maintain my composure. In that moment, Felix Morrison III burst onto the scene. This jerk rolls in with a pristine Porsche GT 3RS, the very model I'd been sweating over all week, while his gleams untouched, likely never even kissed by dust. He strides in, draped in a suit worth $112,000, leaving me breathless. I checked it out afterward. A flashy watch that likely exceeds my annual salary, paired with a trust fund baby haircut that shouts, "My father's lawyers have their own lawyers." It's the truth. His family ran Morrison Luxury Automobiles, a prestigious chain of dealerships spanning 3 states. Those very dealerships would occasionally send us the cars they couldn't repair. The irony cut deep. Emma's mom dashed across the room to embrace him. "Felix, love, we had no idea you'd come." Complete deception. Later I discovered they had chosen to invite him. Suddenly, they're pushing Emma closer to him, ensuring they sit side by side at dinner. At dinner, I endured his boastful tales of business triumphs, all thanks to Daddy's deep pockets. He boasts of a new dealership in Denver, swirling his $1,000 wine as if he's the star of a lavish ad. Venturing into the world of exotic cars. Understanding the luxury consumer mindset hit me hard, as I nearly choked on that bizarrely small portion of whatever French dish they served. This guy wouldn't recognize genuine car work even if it hit him where it hurts. Each time he spoke, Emma's parents hung on his words, her dad exclaiming, "That's the forward thinking the industry craves," and "You truly grasp the business side." Emma's silence deepened with each passing moment. She would dive in, sharing tales of my custom work, dreams of my own shop on the horizon. Yet that night, silence, a void, emptiness. She sat, nodding, laughter spilling out as Felix cracked his awful jokes about those who still choose American cars. That stung deeper than any of the quiet jabs at my past. They danced after dinner. I rarely dance, but when I do, it's a triumphant celebration after conquering a transmission rebuild. I was giving it my all. Felix steps in, effortlessly gliding with the grace of a seasoned dancer, his skills hinting at a privileged past. Emma turned away, her back a wall I couldn't breach. The night dragged on, a relentless agony. I stood there, eyes locked on them, dancing, talking, laughing. Her mom flitted nearby, snapping photos, gushing about their perfect match. I'm at the bar, drowning my frustration in an overpriced drink, its taste lost on me. On the drive home, Emma felt distant, her silence heavy. When I joked about Felix being a walking stereotype, her silence cut deeper than any laughter ever could. Instead, she bristled. "He's incredibly sharp about the industry," she whispered. "Perhaps there's wisdom to gain from his business acumen." In that moment, clarity struck. I felt it in my bones. We were finished. Yet, like a fool, I chose to look away. I convinced myself it was just the allure of the extravagant party, that everything would return to normal once we slipped back into our everyday lives. In the weeks that followed, Emma plunged deeper into her family's social world. She became consumed by charity events and social functions, leaving no time for the shop. And somehow, Felix was always by her side. She'd call it mere coincidence, sure, whatever. The breaking point? I discovered she was meeting with Felix, plotting my future shop over business lunches. He seemed drawn to supporting local talent, absolutely pushing me straight out of my relationship. Tuesday shattered my world. It was a moment of triumph. I'd just completed a complex transmission rebuild on a client's Mercedes-AMG GT. Confidence surged within me. Grease smeared across my hands, but a fat check weighed heavy in my pocket. A day like this screamed for a celebration beer with the guys at the shop. Emma's message arrives. "Can we talk? I'll swing by your place after work." Anyone who's received that text understands its weight, but here I am, oblivious. I hoped she might finally say sorry for her coldness these past few days. I dashed home, showered in record time, and tidied my tiny apartment above the shop. It was little, yet it was everything, earned through sweat and sacrifice. She arrives, a vision of perfection, as if crafted by the finest hands. Designer attire, flawless hair, every detail immaculate. My hands, stained with stubborn motor oil, resisted every scrub, a reminder of the toil that clung to me. That day, the contrast was striking. "I think we need to take a break," she begins. Timeless beginning, isn't it? Then, the true blow lands. My future weighs heavily on my mind. I sat on my tattered couch, listening as she delivered her practiced words. Her desperate need for stability consumes her. She's at a crossroads, forced to confront the weight of her future. Her family opened her eyes to truths she never saw before. And then the twist. She really had the audacity to say that. Felix revealed my true desires in life. A figure of strength. A person who can match the life I know. Do you feel it? I felt nothing at all. Kept calm, no outbursts. I sat there, my heart torn from my chest, raw and aching. Memories from 4 years collide in my mind. Every late night she shared with me at the shop lingers in my heart. Every dream we envisioned. Every moment she whispered faith in my dreams. "What happens to the shop?" I pleaded. "What happened to all our dreams?" Her eyes rolled in disbelief. She sighed, exasperation etched on her face. "Face the truth. Do you realize the capital needed to rival established luxury garages?" Felix speaks. I severed the connection in that moment. Felix speaks. "The man who's never lifted a wrench for himself? Is that really who you're trusting for business advice now?" Her expression shifted, a storm brewing within. I felt like a child, lost in a world I couldn't grasp. This is precisely what I mean. Your gaze is locked on the mechanics. You fail to grasp the harsh truth of the business world. Felix knows people. He knows the pulse of luxury. I rose. Something within me shattered. Leave now. What is happening? Leave my apartment now. Grab your designer bags, your corporate facade, and your Felix. Just leave. Her expression was one of disbelief. Maybe you thought I'd plead. To vow I'd transform. To plead for one more opportunity. I approached the door and swung it wide, inviting the moment in. She walked away, silence hanging heavy in the air. 2 days later, she dominates Instagram. Images of her and Felix at a rooftop restaurant in Boise, his arm wrapped around her waist, both appearing as if they're starring in a commercial for the affluence dilemmas. Brief, yet powerful. Life has a way of guiding you to your true destination. The most painful part, the remarks. Her wealthy friends exclaimed, "Oh my God, finally! You two are meant for each other. This is what you truly deserve, girl." As if our whole relationship was merely a fleeting embarrassment for her. Then, the true tempest arrived. Do you recall the Mercedes I just wrapped up? The owner reaches out the following day. The transmission's failing once more. The breakup shattered me. I must have overlooked something crucial while piecing myself back together. I had to bear the burden of the repair costs. Goodbye to the fat check I once cherished. More errors emerged. I began drowning in alcohol, arriving late to work, my focus slipping away. Uncle David reached out, but I shut him out. Customers began to drift away. My savings vanished quickly, swallowed by lost work and the desperate attempt to drown memories of Emma. In just 2 weeks, I lost 3 major opportunities. Whispers travel swiftly through the realm of luxury cars. 1 misstep, and everything you've built crumbles. 2 missteps, and eyes wander away. Uncle David reached out, desperate to make a difference. He's a solid guy. Continued to believe in me, despite my late arrivals, my hangovers, or the chaos of both. After I scratched a client's restored 1969 Camaro, oblivious to the loose wrench on my workbench due to my drunken state, he faced a choice that would change everything. He grabbed my arm on that Friday afternoon, anguish etched across his features. "Listen, kid, I care for you deeply, but I can't allow you to work on cars this way. You're on the brink of causing pain. To yourself or to others. Pause. Breathe. Find your clarity." That night, I drank until numbness swallowed my emotions whole. I came to on the cold bathroom floor, my landlord's 3 missed calls echoing in my mind. I realized I hadn't paid rent for 2 months on my apartment above the shop. I was so lost that the late notices stacked up without me even realizing. The true betrayal? My savings account teetered on the brink of emptiness. 4 years, every penny saved, all for my dream shop. Vanished in under 2 months, consumed by the wreckage of my failures. Trying to fix the drinking, pretending everything was fine on those few dates, as if that would change anything. I had consumed it all. At 27, I found myself back under my mom's roof in Tacoma. When I arrived at her door with 2 duffel bags and a box of tools, she said nothing. Just hugged me tightly and promised dinner in an hour. But later, I caught her crying in the kitchen. It shattered me, realizing I was the cause of my mom's tears after all she had given to raise me well. I took every job I could get. Days at AutoZone, nights delivering pizzas. But the worst? It haunted me. I took a job as a valet at a fancy steakhouse in downtown Spokane. The very place I once dreamed of taking Emma when I finally made it. And then it came. The moment that shattered me completely. In my valet uniform, cheap polyester pants, and a red vest that screamed rejected Christmas elf, I stood frozen. A familiar Porsche GT 3RS rolled up, that haunting shark blue still etched in my mind. Out stepped Felix, a GQ model in the flesh, followed by Emma in a stunning red dress, likely worth more than my car. The tennis bracelet he flaunted on Instagram glimmered on her wrist, a painful reminder of their world. Absolutely. I found myself helplessly scrolling through their socials. She noticed me. I felt it. Yet her gaze passed right through me, as if I were air. With a rehearsed smile meant for servants, she simply handed me her clutch. Felix, however, truly saw me. His lips curl into a sly smirk as he reaches for his wallet. "Take good care of it," he says, pressing a $100 bill into my palm. "I see the weight you carry. It's heavy, and I feel it with you." I ached to force that bill into his mouth, to scream that my knowledge of cars eclipsed his entire existence, to remind him that wealth doesn't define masculinity. But do you know what I did? I grabbed the cash. Desperation drove me. My mom's AC was broken, and she refused to let me pay for the repair. I was certain that $100 would be enough for the parts I required. That night, after my shift, I sat in my car, the Mustang I had once cherished, now a shadow of its former glory, worn and forgotten. I grabbed my phone, scrolled through Emma's Instagram, and there they were, at the same restaurant where I had just parked my car. Flawless union. Flawless existence. Flawless in every way. 30 pounds of despair clinging to me, a cheap uniform soaked in the scent of strangers' cars, that $100 bill searing my pocket. That was the end of the line. But here's the truth about reaching the depths. When you arrive, everything is at stake. I drove home, bypassing my mom, glued to her late-night shows, and entered my old bedroom, where my high school trophies still hung on the wall. I stared into the mirror, time slipping away, lost in my own reflection. The man glances over his shoulder. He was a stranger now, weeks without a shave, dark circles under my eyes, a stranger's mask on my face. In that moment, I chose my path. The decision. Sometimes you must shatter entirely to rise anew. And rebuild. That's precisely my next move. That $100 bill Felix handed over, it transformed everything, but not as he had hoped. At 4 a.m., the aftermath of the valet incident haunted my thoughts. A shift within me stirred, undeniable. I stepped into the bathroom, seized my mom's ancient digital scale, and braced myself for the truth. 242 pounds. I gained 47 pounds of pure despair in mere months. I yanked out my phone, erased every delivery app, cut ties with Emma and Felix across all platforms, and replaced it with a calorie tracker. Then I took a leap I hadn't dared since my high school football days. I laced up my worn running shoes and hit the pavement, heart racing with every step. I barely made it 6 minutes before my lungs felt ready to burst. Rock bottom has a way of revealing the truth. Time stretches endlessly before you. Alone, unbound, free from the weight of expectations. Only a few hours to piece yourself back together. I crafted a plan, a genuine one, not just another empty resolution. 4:30 a.m. Eyes open, protein shake in hand. YouTube taught me nutrition. 5 a.m. The gym awaits. 7 a.m. The start of another AutoZone shift. 4 p.m. The valet awaits. It was 11 p.m. Drowning in business and marketing, pushing myself until sleep claimed me. Cycle through the same motions, day in and day out. The first month was a nightmare. My body ached endlessly. At 27, sharing a home with my mom felt like the deepest defeat. The valet job echoed with the weight of my losses. I stared at the $100 bill on my wall, Felix's smirk haunting me, my anger and humiliation igniting a fire within. By the third month, everything shifted. I shed 25 pounds, and muscle definition emerged once more. The regulars at AutoZone started to notice something had changed in me. Yet, the most profound transformation was unfolding within me. Working at AutoZone brought an unforeseen advantage. I spoke with every type of car enthusiast in Seattle, from suburban dads tinkering on weekend projects to passionate collectors preserving their classics. I began to see the threads of their frustrations, the gaps in services, the dreams of what could be. The elite grumbled incessantly about how dealerships, like Felix's family's chain, were gouging them for simple tasks and botching the intricate jobs. With each word, the void in the market became painfully clear. They sought someone who grasped the intricacies of mechanics and the allure of luxury. Do you recall the warehouse I spoke of before? During a valet shift, I stumbled upon it, a colossal, forsaken building in Fremont, nestled between opulence and the heart of downtown. The former owner lost everything in the chaos of COVID. The place was chaos. Shattered windows, graffiti screaming from every wall, and shadows of dubious figures lurking in the corners. But my God, the bones were flawless. Soaring ceilings, prime spot, enormous doors ready for any vehicle. In the stillness of my car, I'd pore over numbers, sketch layouts, and plot my next move, all while parked outside that building. The price was staggering. $400,000, far beyond my reach. Yet, it consumed my thoughts. Then everything changed. One night, while valeting, a battered Rolls-Royce Phantom pulls up. Absolutely, it exists. Mr. Edwards, the old-school Seattle businessman, claims the car is emitting a strange noise. He's voiced his frustration to 3 dealerships, poured in thousands, yet the issue lingers on. The sound hits me, unmistakable. A classic air suspension problem these models face. I reveal my diagnosis to him. He's doubtful, yet yearning, offering me a chance to see it after my shift. 2 hours in that parking lot, battling with basic tools from my trunk to fix his car. As I conclude, his disbelief is palpable. He probes into my past, my future. I revealed all my plans for the warehouse, my dream of a unique luxury garage, and how the market was failing men like him. We talked for what felt like an eternity. The following day, he calls, eager to meet at his office. I arrive in my best clothes, though that's not saying much. My hands, raw from scrubbing, still bear the stains of motor oil. He has a plan. He'll ensure the loan for the warehouse is secured, along with an additional $200,000 for renovations and equipment. He demands 25% of the business and top priority for his car collection. But there's a twist. 3 months to show I could make a business thrive. I had to craft an entire business plan, a marketing strategy, every detail laid bare. I needed to reclaim my place in the luxury car community. No pressure at all, huh? Guess what I did? I snatched up every free business course I could uncover. During my valet shifts, I observed the elite, how they spoke, what they cherished, and what earned their trust in a business. I leveraged my AutoZone ties to reclaim my standing in the car community, reaching out to every mechanic I had ever assisted. I shed another 20 pounds, upgraded my wardrobe, professional, clean, pressed. Even for the valet job, I'm putting my best foot forward. I transform my voice, my presence, not to mask my true self, but to unveil the finest version of me. 3 months later, I stepped into Mr. Edwards' office, transformed. Everything had shifted. Body, mind, career. Nothing remained the same. I slammed down a 100-page business plan, rewritten 12 times, each version a battle scar. 5 luxury car owners poised to sign maintenance contracts, a full renovation plan for the warehouse in hand. He scanned the pages, his gaze locking onto mine, then slowly opened the drawer, revealing the keys to the warehouse. It was already his. He claimed that by week 2, he was certain I would succeed. He just wanted to test my limits. That night, in my soon-to-be shop in Fremont, shrouded in dust and cobwebs, I finally took down the $100 bill from the wall. Not because I was done with it, but because I needed space for the building permit that would alter my life forever. Reviving that warehouse felt like resurrecting a lifeless machine. Everything must be torn away to the core before true reconstruction can begin. On my first day as owner, I discovered 3 homeless men in the corner office and a flock of pigeons that could form a racing team. 17 leaks stained the roof, while the cracked concrete mirrored the depths of my ex's betrayal. There's a raw healing in tearing down to create anew. For 2 weeks, I tore down walls and stripped away years of industrial clutter. Mr. Edwards called me crazy for tackling the demo work solo, but I craved this, craved the raw sensation of every inch of this place shifting beneath my touch. Do you recall the business plan I brought up? 3 months of renovation loomed before the grand opening. In just 7 weeks, we achieved it. Endless hours, a cot in the customer lounge, surviving on protein bars and gas station coffee. My mom brought me fresh clothes and real food, insisting I was overworking myself. But she just didn't get it. This was not just work. It was a chance to reclaim everything. The floor ultimately set us back nearly $50,000, a special epoxy coating designed to withstand everything from oil spills to Bugatti tire marks. Where are the lifts? Another $100,000 for the real deal. No more of that flimsy hydraulic junk that fails every other month. Each dollar spent was a step closer to shattering their doubts. Opening day arrived quietly, devoid of grandeur, with no ceremony or ribbon cutting to mark the moment. The doors swung open at 7 a.m. on a Tuesday, a moment heavy with promise. 5 appointments lined up, each one tied to Mr. Edwards. At 8 a.m., my first real challenge arrived. A Rolls-Royce Cullinan, its owner anxious about a strange noise in the suspension. Other shops demanded $115,000 for a total system overhaul. 2 hours spent wrestling with a loose actuator, $300 in parts. Painful, yet necessary. His expression when I passed him the bill? Unforgettable. Invaluable. He dialed 3 friends before the engine even cooled. That's when everything changed. Whispers raced through the luxury car community. A new shop in Fremont. The owner? A true expert. Honest and fair. Delivering quality without the sting of a ripoff. By week 3, we were fully booked for the next 2 weeks. I brought on my first 2 mechanics, familiar faces from Uncle David's shop, eager to dive into high-end work. I trained them personally, instilling my unwavering standards. No shortcuts, no inflated prices, regardless of the client's wealth. Then everything shifted. Do you recall the Ferrari restoration I talked about long ago? The owner was a powerhouse in the classic car realm. He rolls in his 1962 Ferrari 250 GTE, a masterpiece marred by a botched engine rebuild. The last shop demanded another $40,000 to correct their blunders. I dedicated a week to rebuilding that engine, burning the midnight oil until 3 a.m., poring over original Ferrari manuals. Firing it up for the first time, that V12 sang like a dream from Maranello. I really broke down. Thrilled, the owner spotlighted us in his car club newsletter. Suddenly, collectors from all over the country were reaching out. 6 months in, I found myself needing to bring on 3 more mechanics. We earned our name as the place that tackled the unsolvable, the challenges that left others, even the big dealerships, stumped. Exotic car owners began reaching out, fed up with the dealership's games. This is the moment everything changes. Complaints surged, all pointing to Morrison Luxury Automobiles, Felix's daddy's empire. Their service department demanded outrageous fees for simple tasks, botching intricate jobs in the process. Why not? Felix persuaded his father to slash technician training costs, believing the wealthy would pay any price. 1 year in, a 3-month wait loomed ahead. I had to reject ordinary cars to dedicate myself to exotics and classics. I took the leap, expanding into the next building, doubling our space, and investing in a Ferrari diagnostic system that surpassed the price of my first home. Suddenly, the unmistakable roar of a Porsche GT3 RS breaks the silence, parking just outside. Abandoned, it sat quietly, waiting for its owner to return from the warmth of the coffee shop across the street. Shark blue paint fading, brake rotors worn and weary. The sound screamed for a carbon cleaning. But the owner still didn't know my true identity. I kept it quiet. No online noise, just whispers spreading the word. Local business magazines featured the shop, but I always turned down the camera. The focus was never on me. It was always on the work. But now, as I stared at that Porsche, the weight of what was about to unfold loomed heavy. Karma was ready to collect. The moment was near. Recall that worn-out Porsche GT3 RS I spoke of? 2 weeks after I spotted it outside my shop, it walked in as a customer. Not with Felix behind the wheel. He had dispatched one of his dealership's porters instead. The car sputtered, a mystery that left their techs baffled. The porter passed me the keys, oblivious to my identity. I conducted a thorough inspection as the porter stood by, anticipation hanging in the air. The car lay in chaos. Carbon deposits, frayed brake pads, transmission fluid untouched since its birth. Telltale signs of someone who values the emblem over the engine. I prepared a complete estimate and passed it to the porter. The bill soared to nearly $18,000 for the necessary repairs. The porter summoned Felix into my office. Felix's voice crackled through the phone, disbelief flooding me. Our service department insisted it only needed a tune-up. How could this be? It lit up my day when the porter said, "Sir, you asked me to take it to the best shop in Seattle. This is the place." Felix arrives an hour late, likely ready to assert his dominance. He steps into my office, momentarily blind to my presence. 3 years had transformed me completely. Transformed with 30 pounds of muscle, a meticulously groomed beard, and a sharp tailored suit replacing the mechanic's overalls. A flash of understanding? Unmatched brilliance. His face flickered with a whirlwind of emotions in mere moments. Shock gripped him. Disbelief twisted his gut. Anger surged. Fear loomed, and then respect settled in. Because he understood. One glance at my shop revealed all he sought to understand. 6 luxury cars in the shop, 3 Ferrari certificates proudly displayed, and a waiting list so extensive we had to close our doors to new clients. Why? He began to inquire. Relentless effort. I severed the connection. Priceless, beyond reach. He fought to maintain his dignity, suggesting we join forces. His dealership chain teetered on the brink. It seems that skimping on service was a mistake that would haunt us. I had no desire to aid the man who stripped me of everything. In 2 weeks, your car will be ready, I said to him. Half now, half later. The highlight? He surrendered his payment. He was trapped, with no way out. His reputation hung by a thread, and the dealership failed to repair the car. That was merely the beginning. An intriguing email arrived about a month later, setting the stage for what was to come. Morrison Luxury Automobiles sought to part with several of their locations. Their service department's reputation had plummeted, costing them millions. High-end clients abandoned ship, flocking to us in their wake. Do you recall Mr. Edwards, my guiding light and backer? He holds a seat on the boards of multiple banks that supported the Morrison family's dreams. One call from him, and everything changed. The loans were under scrutiny now. The ultimate finishing touch? Emma burst into my shop, unexpected and electrifying, one fateful afternoon. She appeared transformed. The designer clothes vanished, leaving only ordinary retail items behind. The sheen of that perfect rich girl had worn away. Felix's family's financial troubles struck deep. Unlimited credit cards are gone. Luxury shopping sprees are over. I made a mistake, she said, her voice trembling in the space where my dreams once soared. Leaving was my greatest mistake. You were everything, and I was too lost to recognize it. In that moment, Fiona stepped through the door. My girlfriend of 2 years, a former pro race car driver, now fiercely leads her own performance parts company. She embodies all that Emma only feigned: intelligence, ambition, authenticity. Emma's expression when Fiona kissed me hello was unforgettable, surpassing every scheme of vengeance I ever envisioned. It wasn't the leaving that was the mistake, I told Emma. Believing I needed you for my success was my greatest error. My shop stands as the ultimate destination for exotic cars in the Northwest. 6 months to wait, 3 places to choose, and a reputation forged in excellence beyond price. Felix's family faced the heartbreaking decision to sell nearly all their dealerships. Karma strikes hard when your foundation is weak. Last I heard, he's peddling dreams on 4 wheels in Boise. Emma. She's trapped in his world, against her will. When your entire existence hinges on another's wealth, leaving becomes nearly impossible when that wealth vanishes. Her Instagram is now filled with posts about what truly matters. It's the facade people wear, desperately trying to believe in their own joy. Me? I just sealed the deal for 2 new locations. Next spring, Fiona and I will tie the knot in the very warehouse I transformed. Mr. Edwards will stand by me, just like that $100 bill Felix slipped into my hand when I was a valet. It hangs in my office, beside last year's Entrepreneur of the Year award. That night haunts me, a valet in the shadows, as they strode into the restaurant, exuding power and confidence. All that I've created since that moment. It's about something deeper. True success is born from authentic passion, relentless effort, and the refusal to let others dictate your value. My empire? It stands apart from family ties and inherited wealth. Forged from raw determination, sleepless nights, and an unwavering passion, this is mine forever. Thanks for watching this story on Addy Story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new tale. Stay tuned for more. And until next time, take care and keep living your own amazing stories.